So I call this recipe sweet potato treats for your little sweet potato. And if you just tuned in, your little sweet potato is not your partner or your friend. It's your dog. Your little dog is your little sweet potato, the love of your life. So this recipe calls for 1 sweet potato, which I have right here. Okay, and you know what? While we're on the subject of sweet potatoes, I was having a discussion with this one because this whole thing of political incorrectness with Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, have we not taken it too far? They are just potatoes, okay? At the end of the day, they're just potatoes. They're not living, breathing things like Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew is very, very inappropriate. I will say that. I grew up on Pepe Le Pew. I remember even being a little kid thinking Pepe was inappropriate. But we're not talking about Pepe. We're talking about Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. And why I think Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, it was perfectly fine. You could have even, you could have had a range of potato heads, actually. Could have been LGBTQ potato heads. We could have included everybody, okay? Because we want to be inclusive. We do, at the end of the day. All of us need to know that. So, I forgot where I was going with this. But anyway, this is just a plain potato. It's a sweet potato, as a matter of fact. And I have made it all nice and soft and mushy in my microwave oven. So, my next step is I am taking a knife. Oh, speaking of knives, I have a lot of knives, and they're all beautiful and red like this, and I'm saving the whole set for another episode because these are very special knives. My friend, my amazing friend, Nick Lyon, saw me talk about not having any knives, not having the proper knives, so he was kind enough to send me a red knife set. That's right, look, they're all red. I know I only have one here today, but believe me, you have to believe me, I never lie, I am authentic, that there are other knives in the set. So, we're going to use this one to slice our sweet potato open. And it's 1 whole sweet potato for this recipe. Okay, and I always tell the truth. The reason that sweet potato is so soft and mushy is because I recently learned something about sweet potatoes, that you can make them in the microwave oven. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to put a pot with water in it and boil it and all that hot nonsense that we go through. You pop it in the microwave. This beautiful sweet potato was in the microwave for 6 minutes, and look how soft, succulent, I love that word, succulent, that's a great word, and mushy it is. So I have to scoop out the sweet potato innards. See how easily they come out of the shell. Oopsie. All right, well, that didn't come out so easily, but you get my drift here, right? You can just scoop it out because we don't want the skin, although to be perfectly honest, for those of you who might be vegetarian, you know this better than anybody, that all the vitamins in the potato a lot of them are in the skin. So, it really doesn't bother me to have like a skin from a potato, but you know what? I don't know how my dog would feel about it. Listen, I don't know how your dog would feel about it. I mean, nobody's dogs sit down with me and tell me their feelings. You have to be able to interpret their behavior just by looking in their eyes and how they act. And, I forgot. I am making a recipe here. Okay, so now I am mushing up that sweet potato. After I've done that, I have to take my whole wheat flour, which the recipe calls for 2 cups whole wheat flour, and it calls for a 1/2 cup unsweetened applesauce. Don't buy the sweetened kind of applesauce. Your dog will be wired for sound, and there will be hell to pay because of that. So I call for whole wheat flour, which I have 2 cups, and then we have Mott's. Mott's applesauce. They're not paying me to endorse it, okay? But you know what, Mott's, doesn't it make you think of everything that was cool before? What you grew up with. Who didn't love Mott's applesauce as a kid, right? It brought back those fond memories of the playground and the slides and the seesaws and your mother having a little container with Mott's applesauce. That was back in the days when you could count on things, ladies and gentlemen, right? We used to be able to count on things like Mott's applesauce. But after the pandemic, what can we count on anymore? There's virtually nothing because this happened and our lives are permanently changed. We can't trust. We can't really have faith in. Well, even listen, I don't want to go down that road because you know I am a very positive person. I don't totally feel that way, but I do feel a little bit that way. So that's why I bring pandemic cooking to you, because it's total fantasy. Because at the end of the day, we all know I'm not really a cook. It's a drag show. But I digress. Okay, so I'm gonna, let's see. It says here the sweet potato, the applesauce, and the whole wheat flour, and 2 eggs all get mixed together. There's my 2 eggs. All right, so here we go. I'm putting the applesauce in. That's great. They didn't say which to do first. You know, I have to tell you, like, these recipes, they think you have a crystal ball, like you can just like figure it out, right? And you see, if they had told me, oh my God, if they had told me, I would have had a bigger bowl. Now, it's obvious to me that this bowl is not going to be big enough, so I am going to do the old switcheroo, ladies and gentlemen. In the middle of this, I am switching to this lovely, enormous measuring device. I guess you would call it a measuring cup. I don't even know where I got this from. I happened to look in my cabinet and it was there. I would never have anything like that. You know how I am. Oh, please, perish the thought. It would take up space on a shelf that could be used for makeup. Okay, now here we go. I'm mixing. Let's get the 2 eggs in there so things don't look so dry. We'll put that bowl over there. Mixing. So a lot of mixing here, and you know what? They didn't tell me I needed Mr. Mixer for this. What I'm doing by mixing these ingredients I am making a dough. Now, that's what it said in the recipe. To me, it looks like I'm just making a mess, but I'm actually making a dough. And I am going to take this dough and roll it out on a cookie sheet that has been lightly floured. They said don't grease it. I don't know. I said to myself, why would they say don't grease it? Doesn't it make sense that you would want to grease it? It seems to me that it would be easier, but you know what? I should never improvise when I'm doing this. God, this is really like heavy and a mess. I don't know. No, I followed the directions exactly, so I don't think I messed anything up. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix it. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it smells like? Play-Doh! That's right. It smells just like Play-Doh. And you know, when I think of this mixture as Play-Doh, it is far more appealing to me because Play-Doh also makes me think of those carefree times, how happy I was as a child, how carefree and all the different colors. Didn't you love the different colors of Play-Doh? How amazing was that? The bright blue and the red. You know, while I'm doing this, I just had a brilliant idea. Of course, I'm not going to do it because somebody out there will get flipped out. But you probably could do this. You could put food coloring into the mixture and make it any color you want. So if you try this at home, and I hope you will, please tell me if you put food coloring in, and you'll let me know what happens after that. Okay. I'm doing really well here. I've almost got the mixture done.